Turn your phone on. Vibrate. Make sure your phone's on vibrate.
It is.
Okay.
Andrew, if there's music playing, I can't hear.
Me either.
Nope, still. Thank you.
We can do that. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to our latest installment of What Would It Take? And now, here is our host, Summer Logan.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning for the next 4 minutes. Good morning. Good morning.
It was about
Good morning.
the pause.
And we have had some wonderful technical difficulties this morning.
It was so wonderful.
But it was worth it because I'm telling you, the guest that we have on today, you guys are going to enjoy this guest. The topic that we have today is Family Secrets Part 2. And it's a much needed, necessary conversation.
True.
So I would like to welcome and enjoy my wonderful husband. You're going to see my hand come across the screen. My wonderful co-host, Joe Logan.
Hello.
You guys lovingly call him Maestro. Hello, sweetheart.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
How are
And in this picture, you will see, if you see live right now and not listening on the podcast on Monday mornings at 6 a.m., good morning to all on your way to work this morning.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you, or grand rising to most. I'd like to introduce my guest for today. He is Justin Yates. You may know him from Facebook, Think Tank, or Necessary Conversation. Oh, I'm elated to have Justin on. Hi, Justin.
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me?
I can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you just fine.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm outside, so I'm have to be careful. That's how to live out here, and then you got me. So we gotta
That's
be.
okay.
I gotta be careful. And remind me if I do, because somebody just brought the dogs out. Oh my God.
It's, you know what?
It's
we
fine.
have been
Just-
having all of the technical difficulties I think you can have for a podcast, and that's okay today because this conversation is going to happen one way or the other. It doesn't faze me nor bother me, so I'm just going to keep it rolling.
Bring the dogs.
Bring the dogs.
Yeah.
Bring them. That's what some people need to say.
They brought them out too.
Yeah.
They can
Who
smell
held
me
up the
out
gate
here.
open?
I find it so befitting for our conversation. All right.
It's not. It's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
All right. So
No, because I already know what's out here. But
oh,
go ahead.
Oh, okay.
all right. So
All right.
and don't get rained on because we're both. Well, I'm in Indianapolis. I don't think you're up here, but you all. For those who are tuning in Facebook Live on your lunch breaks, welcome. Enjoy this conversation. It is our conversation continued called Family Secrets Part 2. But this one, eventually we're going to speak on a conflict resolution because that's a big one for our families to be able to get back together again. We need to know how to conflict resolution. Okay, let's get started. So, Justin, you and I have had some amazing conversations about family, about bringing our families back together,
Right.
about these family secrets that have torn our families apart. And I do mean rip them sometimes to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
The stories that have just been given and fed into your ear are hurtful. I've been looking at certain family histories or family conversations, and it goes so deep rooted even into molestations and rapes and adoptions and secret adoptions, or even people who have had to take on other family members for other family members because life has happened. And so let's get into this conversation. So how do we, because I know
All right.
you and say it again.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So even as we go through this conversation and we have some internet ups and downs, you guys bear with us. But I know that some conversations that have been thrown out is, okay, what do I do when we have an individual in the family that has done a horrendous crime, which would be taking advantage of a child or taking advantage of another loved one. And he'll be back in, you guys, but taking advantage of another loved one. And how do I go to the family reunions or the family meetings or the family, get-togethers, or even just go over to Nana's house and he's there or she's there? And how do I get through that? How do I go and deal with face to face and possibly being victimized all over again just by his presence being in the room? How do I get through this? And then the family kind of making me feel like I'm wrong because I couldn't you know get over it. And I'm just speaking me hypothetically, okay? I'm not speaking on my actual family, but just speaking me hypothetically. Like, how do we get past these crucial moments and not have more division? Because there was a true, that's a true crime that happens in the families all the time. Unfortunately, it is more often, but unspoken of. Okay. And so, I want to be able to talk to our listeners about the conflict resolution when it comes to just being able to speak to each other and be respectful of each other's space, be respectful of each other's decisions, right? Because there's two sides to these stories, sometimes three sides to the story. And I have one Facebook user that says, "Pray and stay away."
Monica Jackson.
Hey, Miss Monica, I miss you. And that's the thing. Some people, because there are people that have been molested by their moms, that have been molested by their dads, that have had children by their father. There are situations where they've been molested by the mom's boyfriend, or the niece, or the auntie has molested the nephews or cousins, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the incest is weaving and putting itself together. So the norm is, I'm going to do me. You people are toxic. I'm gone. Right. So that is the the new. Okay. But I want to propose something to everyone. Um, we are in a crucial state where family is being obliterated. How do we do this, you guys? Pray and stay away is respectful, and I do understand that. But there comes a time to where we do have to heal. There comes a time to where there's going to be a funeral or something is going to bring y'all back in that same space.
Right.
And I have one user, and this user says, I have a child by my mother's boyfriend.
Wow, it's Monica too.
That is difficult.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to attempt to understand what you're going through emotionally, physically, as a mom, as a sister, as a daughter, to be able to carry that. And how do we heal inside of this without therapy? How do we heal? Because I do appreciate the church, amen, pray, but they can't do all the work. God's not going to do all the work for you. There's going to be, and Monica, I'm not speaking, just to you. And I'm not really addressing this to you when I'm speaking. But what I'm saying is that there has to be this healing on the inside, whether you get a I'm sorry or not. I had to get to a place where it didn't matter whether you wanted to apologize to me or not. I have to heal, and the forgiveness that I have is for me, so that I can move on and drop this weight, and so that my children can move on and it not have to walk into their lineage, right? And one user says, I left Cincinnati and been in Louisville done since what does that mean?
2012.
2012. Yeah. I ran. I couldn't take my family. I ran. And still a few years later, once I started the healing process, once I was able to heal, I ended up beautiful situation that took place, but I had to come back. I had to come back. Life gave me a whole 180. I had to come back, and I had to, yes, somebody said I had to forgive him for me. I had to forgive them for me. You can hop in at any time.
Okay,
but
I was
but this
double Dutch,
right? You got double Dutch in this conversation.
Yeah, but that's a very crucial step in the healing process. And then the other crucial step is addressing the problem. You never come to a solution or resolve without first addressing the problem. Now, it can go, of course, either one or two ways. It can happen where both parties are having an open mind, because you never know, I guess, what's the word? If the accuser or whatever, the accuser has a change.
Yeah.
Most commonly spiritual change, and he's ready to come back and apologize and say, is there a way we can work this out?
Yeah, because that's a whole flood of emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
If it happens.
Exactly. If it happens. Yeah. But then there's the flip side where we come together and say, hey, we got a problem, and you say what you need to say, and they say what they need to say, and they just never come to an agreement. And so, look, let's go part ways. I forgive you, but I'm moving on without you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're taken care of. So it's really important that you internally forgive them for you.
Yeah. And I confronted him on the phone, or I confronted him with my mom and my aunt on the phone. Look, that is growth right there. Growth. You hear me? Whoever that is, I can't see. I just see Facebook user, right?
Yeah.
That is growth. And I commend you for that. It says he's trying to change his lifestyle. You know what? Awesome. But you bring a light to that thing in the dark. You hear me?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You bring a light to it so that it no longer has power over you. Whether somebody believes you or not, you know truth, and truth don't have to be explained.
Yeah, because if there's a change, a real change, you can express how not only how you felt at that moment, but you can also express what you have been going through since then.
Right.
And what steps you had to take to come to that particular point. And if he's really changed, hypothetically, if he's really changed, then he will feel what you felt.
Right. And whether he feels what you felt or not, you moved on. You are no longer victimized. You are no longer inside that moment. And you only get one mama. You only get one daddy. Hear me?
That's right.
And no matter what that individual has done, no matter what the mama has endured or agreed to, because there are so many decisions that we can do as adults. Okay, so hear me, women who have children, men who have children. Put yourself sometimes in your parents' shoes, or see your parents with a different lens. See them as an individual. Was the decision that they did messed up? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And there's no rhyme or reason sometimes to somebody's decisions. I'm trying to use my words carefully because I do not want to offend. All right. But would you want forgiveness? For some, I hear somebody, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. That would have never been me. That's nasty. You know, I love my kids. My kids is, you know, my heart. But if you did something that your kids feel like is unforgivable, that like you will need forgiveness from them one day, you're going to have to forgive. You're going to need to forgive. Yeah, the situation's messed up. Yeah, the situation's screwed up. Yeah, they did that to you. Yeah, the boyfriend, and boyfriend did this, that, and the other. I'm speaking from experience here. The boyfriend did this, that, and the other. You don't hold that over your mama's life. You don't hold that over, your daddy's life if his girlfriend did something, because you only get one. You can safely engage with your parentals from a healed standpoint without giving them your all, because once a person shows you who they are, honey, that's who they are here.
Yeah, that's true.
Period, point blank. They say that their lifestyle changing means I choose not to be who I was, right? I choose not to engage in what attempts to pop up at me naturally. That doesn't mean that the stuff ain't there. That just means that they choose not to engage. You don't have to give them that space to hurt you like that again, but you can show an individual a love.
Yeah.
You can show an individual, I can love you from where I'm at right here.
Yeah.
So that I don't give you the opportunity to hurt me or my children again, because now we got innocent people again involved in this relationship between the families.
Right. We need to cover this other branch too, because
somebody's report.
Yeah, that's the same person.
Okay, my daughter thought I hated her, but I love her so much.
And that's huge, because it's just more, especially when there's a child involved. There's so much more than between you and the person.
Yeah. Like so much. Like the daughter thought that I hated her, but I love her so much.
Right.
Yeah, because it's gonna
Mhm.
start doing mind game
Yeah.
tricks
Mhm.
on a lot of
Mhm.
people. It'll start doing mind games, and you have to put those words into the atmosphere. Kill the negative thought processes, kill the negative thought patterns.
Absolutely.
And say, don't think just because this situation happened that I love you any less. Love is an action word. It takes it takes for you to be able to show someone I love you beyond this here, because love conquers a multitude of sin. It covers a whole lot of things. And for us to be able to go through this, conflict resolution needs to be had, because everybody's not, and this is just the truth of the thing, everybody's not going to go see a therapist.
True.
Everybody, like she said, like this user said, he didn't want to talk about it. Honey, when my father passed away last year, COVID, right? My father passed away last year. And my uncle, his brother, at the funeral. Let me tell you, that was twice I have seen him. Three times I have seen him since the incident happened when I was like 6 or something like that. I don't remember what age I was. And I didn't go off. None of his brothers knew the situation. The only people that knew in this world is me, my mama, and the pastor here. And so I did not hug him. I wasn't all, lovey-dovey, but just know the love that I have for my family, the love that I have for you as an individual, because you may be able to change your life, right? And me and you will see each other in heaven one day here. But just know I am respecting myself enough to know that I do not have to have an emotional response. I don't. I can nod in my head. You see me. I see you. You see me. We know what happened. I nod my head. Now, will I introduce you to my children? No, because my children know my story, and my children are not healed from that yet. My boys, I got twin boys. They almost 6 foot tall here. My twin boys would have come unglued if they known that they was in the same room with the person that caused pain to their mom. So, I held my composure, because at the end of the day, this funeral was about my daddy, not about what you did, not about what happened. It was about my dad and honoring his life. Right. So what we're not going to do today is hash up old trash, because unfortunately we didn't have family reunions in this family, but funerals are family reunions. Funerals are family reunions. And you got auntie such and such looking across the aisle from auntie such and such and like, honey, testimony time, right?
Listen.
Like, let me tell you something.
Hey, Debbie. Debbie Montgomery.
Hey, Miss Debbie, she is on a pathway to, oh my God, she is doing her thing. I have, ever since I saw her trying to do her weight loss and love herself, I have been a advocate for her. Every time she sees on Facebook, I'm heartening. I'm saying, you are beautiful. You are looking at, support people when you see them, they trying to change. Anywho, I'm telling you right now, you only get one family, loves. You get one. How are you going to make the difference in that family? How are you going to let your light shine and show them that light conquers darkness? No matter what darkness has tried to overcome our family, right? Light is going to win, period. Period, point blank. Because, I noticed something, and you know what, hop in whenever.
No.
Okay. I noticed something about our family, right? Our family kind of dismantled when my grandfather passed away. My grandmother stopped cooking, right? Food brought us together. I am a foodie. I get it, honest. That's how I was brought up. Food is what brings us together. It's the culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no matter if y'all vegan, no matter if y'all that's an inside joke. No matter if y'all are whatever culture.
Whatever, But food
brings us together.
Brings the family together.
And when the food stopped, the engaging stopped.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When it wasn't passed down, right? Mm-hmm. Because there was a disconnection from who I was supposed to be in the family, which was making that thing continue. I got attacked by the family, right? And so that made me come into my ball, and not be who I was, not operate in who I was meant to be, which was carry the family traditions on. A lot of my generation is the family carriers, is to continue on, right? So we have, she said, I'm a foodie as well, or she. That's what I was just thinking about this morning. Jesus, look at that confirmation. Yeah. Food brings us together. So guess what I did this year, right? I'm walking through my healing process, I said, let's just get together. Let's get together. Bygones be bygones. Let's just get together with my grandmother's side of the family. And let's get back to kickball. Let's get back to, dodgeball. Let's get back to fireworking. A lot of people, fireworking, fireworks, I'm not one that gets into July 4th or, as far as like, if you want to celebrate it, more power to you. If you want to do Juneteenth, more power to you. I just have a thing of get your family together, because once you get that foundation first, I promise you will go far here. And so we got together. We had an amazing time. I started seeing people post about, they was at this family reunion. They was at this family get together. And then I saw one post that said, family reunions is cool, but then you got everybody clicking up inside the family reunions. Let's try and defuse a lot of that toxicity. There has got to be somebody's uncle who can bring comedy into the mix and bring y'all back together again. Even the cliques, got 2 cliques. Somebody's got to be in the middle that bonds y'all.
Yeah.
And so
I think we talked about that last episode when we was talking about the whole, I mean, not the whole, but some people call her Nana, some people call her Mima, Big Mama. There got to be that one person that everybody respects that could also bring that wisdom and be a mediator of bringing these differences together.
I agree. I agree with you, because there has to be somebody. Come on, you guys. Think about that. Utilize what's actually inside your storehouse and build on that. And if you can't bring back a Mima, if a Mima or a Nana or a grandmother is not in the flow, look to one of the cousins. One of the cousins or one of your kids seems to be the one that God is shining on. Right. He's shining on somebody to bring y'all back together again.
Right.
This can happen. God he made family first before he even made the church, which is why I started off this podcast and saying, okay, church, we will eventually bring y'all into the mix. We'll eventually, bring the conversation towards the church, so that they can comment, whatnot, whatever. But I'm addressing families first. I'm addressing the family unit so that we can pull this thing together. Because without the family unit, you guys, we're tossed in every way. We're dispersed everywhere. That's how they got us in slavery, right? They dispersed the families so that they wouldn't know each other. They wouldn't be able to communicate. They wouldn't be able to bond together. So they would disperse everybody. Why would we do that to ourselves, yo? Because it's learned behavior. This ain't okay.
Right.
We need each other, especially right now What happens when you lose everything? Who are you falling on? You only got yourself? Been there, done that. Telling you it's a lonely road.
Right. And yourself is only going to take you so far. But it's nothing like having that family that, through the ups and downs, even through the differences, they have your back.
Yeah, through the differences, family still has your back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you,
God definitely, yeah.
God is
ultimately.
God is wanting this. But if ain't nobody listening, how he gonna get in?
Right.
Sure. If ain't nobody listening and everybody's on their own way, God he moves so still and so quiet. He's subtle. I think that's the word I'm looking for. He moves subtle. And if you are too wound up, if you are too in the emotions of it all, you ain't gonna hear him.
Yeah.
And he speaks through other people. Let me do some Kevin Hart real quick. All right. The way our lives are set up, okay, our lives are set up to need each other. If you don't have that and you try and do this thing alone, 9 times out of 10, you'll get that concept. All I need is King Jesus. Nah, sorry, that's not how he made you. That's not how he made you, because now you made it and everybody else didn't. I know that there's some people like, that's them, that's their mindset. But sometimes people need somebody else to see them outside of their world and pray for them. They need to see them. They need people to see them outside of all of this and say, I see you. I understand. Be able to pray for it this far back so that you can come out of where you're at. Because if you make it and everybody else don't make it, that don't make you successful, my guy. That makes you a little selfish.
So what if, and this kind of goes into this next comment, same time my family ain't family, I get more from my church family than I get from my real family. Well,
I have a comment, but I'm gonna let you do it first.
Hit it. No, because I guess baby, you need to go ahead.
Okay. All right. Look, because I was ready. You hear me?
Yeah, I know you was.
Sometimes and I say for me, that was so that I would not have the gap while I was healing. Okay. God provided the family unit through the church so that I can still have support while my family still needed help. They're not meant to be the permanent stick in place moment, right? But they are meant for you not to fill the void while you're going through your healing process. It ain't meant to just say, oh, I got mama such and such at church. She's taking the role of my mama.
Right. Yeah,
look.
Right.
You still gonna have to face what's behind you.
Yeah.
You still a part of them. No matter how many times you can get emancipated, no matter how many times you attempt to speak verbally, I disconnect from you, your DNA don't lie. You take that blood test, what pops up? Paternal. You take that DNA test, what pops up? That's your sibling. Yes, they need help. And yes, they are messy, honey. Yes, they can get messy. But did you ever wonder why you were the intercessor? I don't even know who's speaking right now. I just see the comment. Because the intercessor gets to see the messy, gets to experience the messy so that you can fervently pray. Because if you're not feeling it, how are you going to pray for them? If it's not affecting you, you'll stay stuck in your own world and you won't be praying. Why do you get to see the messy? I always used to ask God that. I don't want to see nobody else's problems. God, I got problems of my own. They bring up old things because they still hurt. They still there. You pray in that lane. You get in there real good. Who is actually fasting for their family and have fasted for their family? If you have, that's great. Keep going. Because some things only come out by praying and fasting. Now, I'm versed in both conversation. I can speak to the world in conversation with conflict resolution, and I can speak to the church when it comes to conflict resolution. Because I've had to live, I've had to do both. I've had to do both. I've had to go both ways. Okay. I love the God side of it because it was much easier. But when we have these issues, because we can always keep throwing things, God be like, they messy. I can't take them, God. They bring up this and they bring up that, and it just keeps coming my way. And oh my God, God's still working on me with that. Right. Come on, y'all. And that's where the church family come in at. Because as you're processing, because this is all a process, it ain't gonna happen overnight.
Right.
Because I'm talking about years. Let's see, we've been married. We 6 years. Okay. Yeah. So I'm talking to y'all out of a small portion of my testimony. I'm just speaking to you from a six year good healing process. All right. And that came from 30 plus years of pain. I'm 43. You do the math. Been going through this for a while. And so God will work on you when you have this open heart to understand who you are in the position of your family. He's talking to the intercessors there. If he set up the family first, don't you think that the church is a depiction of the family? I'm speaking to my church people right now. Don't you think it's a depiction of, it's a foundational truth of what family looks like? Of what church looks like? We got to remember that prayers sometimes are for others and not ourselves. Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes you go through some things. Sometimes prayer comes in and ain't got nothing to do with you. It's about everybody else. Because you could be the forerunner, moving mountains for your family to run through. If it wasn't for Moses holding up the staff, nobody had gone through the Red Sea, right? That one person had to hold it for all them people. And he needed Aaron, and he needed
Sarah.
No, the sister. Right. I'll go back to Sunday school class. He needed his sister, and he needed Aaron to hold him arms up because that weight got heavy. But there was 3 of them.
I know what you're talking about.
It's 3 of them. Miriam. What's her name? Miriam.
Yeah, Miriam held a tambourine, but
yeah. I feel like Medea now. Tina, whatever. Look.
Yeah.
She held the arm up. The other one held the other arm up because they had to let the families go through and they things before something tried to devour them. Our families are getting devoured. You hear me? Our babies are out here in these streets shooting because they ain't got no men that are in position to tell them, young man, come here, get up out them street. You don't have Uncle such and such telling them, come on, you rolling with me today. Now you ain't going to the streets. You sitting right here in this good here car. You got a few, but we don't have enough that's making change. So now you got to depend on the government. You got to depend on on everything else to keep everything else in line. It's not their job.
Yeah, you're right. You're
right. I like my piece.
Yeah, I was about to say, we celebrate you for the fact that you love your peace. The thing is, even with forgiveness, just because you forgive don't mean you forget. So you have to use that wisdom, from your past to know and to draw that line and know that there's a line that cannot be crossed and will not be crossed. There are certain behaviors that will not be tolerated. So that you could still experience that peace in your adulthood as while you're mending your family together.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, so somebody may ask, why do you say that it's not the government's job? That's why we employ them to do that. What would it take? Podcasts, It's about bringing us back to our foundation. God did not intend for us to be governed. He put that in our makeup, in our genetic makeup, to be able to do it for ourselves, because he was supposed to be our only king. But we wanted a king because everybody else had one. And he said, well, if you do that, this is what's going to happen. They'll rape your daughters. They will enslave y'all. They will do this, that, and the other. And the list goes on, people. What we have we have endured because we wanted a king, because we wanted a government, because everybody else had one. Listen, family unit in structure is designed to be able to keep those things in line. There should be someone who teaches budget, who teaches finances, teaches the history of a thing, who says, okay, hey, you need to break this spirit because I see it attacking us. It's not the person, it's the spirit that is attacking our family. This needs to be killed at the head, and then we can move on. But we don't have elders in our family. But I guarantee you'll go to the elder in the church. You don't even know what they're like on the flip side of outside the church on after Sunday. But you'll trust in the fact because they have elder in front of their name. You don't even know if they cool with their family, but you'll have elder, you'll adopt them because they didn't hurt you, right? So we have to get over and forgive so that we are not making emotional response decisions, knee-jerk reactions. And then immediately we're in a space of, I'm not going to let you take any more from me. I'm doing me and I'm moving forward. You're moving forward and you're still working on trying to find out your purpose in life. What if your purpose started with your family? Then God will open the door. You running around trying to figure out books, trying to figure out how to make this thing crack, and then realize that your purpose gets unlocked when you handle what's behind you.
True.
I'm just saying, forgive them for they know not what they do. He forgives us every day. Nobody is perfect, but our Father's in heaven. Exactly.
This is true.
Mama ain't perfect, honey. She's going to make mistakes. Auntie ain't perfect. You don't know if it was her time of the month around family reunion time and she can't deal with nobody because she's hormonal today. You don't know that her bank account may be in the negative and she's upset at everything and anybody. Women, we go through a lot of ups and downs. But did you give her the benefit of the doubt? You don't know if she went through some things because she was missed out on her father. And now those things are tied into it.
Yeah.
See them from a different lens, people.
Right.
I know that they hurt you. I get it. No, hey, right. Somebody say, yes, I get it. Hey, I got a book coming out. It's going to publish this year. You'll see some of my testimonies here. I'm not telling you anything that I have not experienced, or else I would not talk on it, or I bring somebody on that is versed in it. But you gotta, yes, Miss Sandra, you gotta have grace for people. You want grace and mercy, baby. You gotta give it to receive it.
True.
That's how God shows his love, is through somebody saying, but I know what I did to you. How can you forgive me? How can you love me? How can you still be around me when I can't even stand myself? Then you get to give a testimony and say, but God, because of God, because God loved me, I'm loving you because I'm going to need forgiveness from him, honey. I have got to forgive you.
Yeah.
Why are we willing to give it to the streets before we give it to home? Because the streets ain't hurt you? So,
basically.
right, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Because the streets didn't hurt you. So this is
because I'm sorry not to cut you, but you have to find the answer from somewhere.
mm-hmm.
So it's either going to be the streets, it's either going to be the church, okay. It's either going to be even therapy. I mean, therapists. It's like I mean, so it
Yeah.
they're just looking for someone that they feel they can put their trust in.
Yeah. And that, look, these are the comments. Like,
Yeah.
one says, "Hey, Justin." One says, "How about if your mother sold you for 50 pieces of dope for my rapist?"
Man.
That's a lot to swallow, right?
Yeah.
That is a hard pill to swallow. But I guarantee you there's somebody's story that you ain't heard that sold them for nothing. Sold them for 10 pieces of dope. At least you got 50. All I'm saying is you're going to have to look at you're going to find some silver lining. It ain't right. I ain't telling you this right. Sis, trust me when I tell you it's not right. Whatever the reason is. But I guarantee you that you're going to want grace for whatever you have done in life. You just need to give back grace to someone else. And it seems like the someone else looks to be like your mom. I'm not telling you to be all lovey-dovey and hold up, you're about to see me hop screens. I'm not telling you to be all lovey-dovey, right? And be all up underneath her and get all up in her bed and be like, mama, I love you. I'm not saying that. But I am saying is, do you show them love and forgiveness? Forgiveness, the being a victim eats you on the inside. I choose not to be a victim, which is why I choose to forgive. I'm going to forgive. For me, I'm worth it. Because if I keep holding this bitterness in, it's going to walk across my face. It's going to walk across my heart, and it's going to affect me through my body. It's going to bring out some type of diabetes. It's going to bring emotional issues, mental health issues. It's going to bring something if you're not forgiving. I am not saying that you put yourself back in a place of harm. I am not saying that. That is not where I'm coming from. Justin, are you up? No, you're still frozen. Okay. I am not saying that. You forgive her and you forgive the boyfriend. But you tell your testimony, honey, because there is somebody out there that they mama did that or worse, and they need to hear you.
Right.
They need to hear you.
Yeah.
And this thing ain't easy.
Right.
Because you start wanting justice. You start wanting, what if they did this and da 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 da, and God's going to justify you. He said, revenge is mine. And whatever God does to them is more than what you could ever do to them. He made them. He knows how to get them all day, every day, in season and out of season, honey. There's nothing that you can do. I'm just going to remove myself. He'll fight for you. Trust him. He will fight for you. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
All right. I know.
Yeah, you're right, Sandra. You have to don't let them hold you hostage. Okay, you got to release so you can live your purpose.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that your life has purpose. Whatever you went through in your past, you have to come to the point in life where you remember, and every time you wake up, you have to put that in the forefront of your mind, that you're here for a purpose.
Right. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because what I have been studying, and like I look at like crime shows and I look at stuff like that. And when that demon's done with you, after you've done his bidding, he lets you eat every inch of the repercussions.
Yeah.
And what powered you to do the things to other people that was wrong, what powered you in that, now that power ain't there. Now you dealing with it. And when I tell you that you see the torment on that person, but that torment is meant to have that need. If they survive through it and didn't nobody kill them for what they did, that torment is meant to drop someone to their knees. When I tell you that this thing right here is, if I tell you that this thing right here is meant for you to, you see the cycles. If you see the cycles, you'll stop trying to put your hand you'll stop trying to put your hand in where your hand don't belong. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And they'll have to deal with that. But what you have to be responsible for is what you're responsible for: forgiveness, grace, mercy, dishing out the portion that you are meant to give that person so that you can still be whole. Because while you still mad in that moment, you still giving them a piece of you. You're still doing it. They may not be still victimizing. They may not still be in the process of victimizing you, like they're not in the same act, but it's still having its effects. You have to forgive. Once you forgive, I'm telling you, you're free. I'm telling you, from this place, you are free. But if your mindset is still there of auntie such and such hurt me, mama did this, daddy did this, honey, my father, he went with his other family and lived his best life, honey. Well, he thought it was, until the end. And the end was ugly. Very ugly. I'm not living 70 plus years, 80 plus years of my life to die with no accolades, with no honors. I'm not giving this world 80 years of my life for you not to see my family come together. Because if I'm a part of it, we all gonna make we getting somewhere here, because that's part of my Proverbs. That's part of my Proverbs 31. Mm-hmm. That's part of who I am. I am a world changer. Yeah. And my family is inside the world. And I am a changer. That's who I am. That's what I was created to be. That's what I was created for. That's what we as a people were created for to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This is a lot of meat. And I this is a lot of meat, because you got to deal with the rapists in a family. Mm-hmm. You got to deal with all of the sexual sins that's in the family, all the hidden dark secrets that have caused mental health issues. What about that? None of that has happened, but you got mental health issues in your family, and you can't speak to nobody about depression. And depression takes out some of your family members because they've committed suicide or they've drank themselves into nothing.
Right.
Because they couldn't handle what life couldn't allow them to say. Mm-hmm. Because it's taboo. What about people who have drank themselves into a stupor?
Right.
Because they could never say they were gay. Mm-hmm. They can never say that this is how I feel, because it was taught that this ain't the way you swing, right? But unfortunately, for people who now not understanding science, if it happened way back when in your lineage, it's in your DNA. Some people just have more women. Some women have more testosterone than others. Some men have more estrogen than others. Where you get the metrosexual male, these things are coming out in our genes, and you can't sit there and tell somebody, deny that. That's not the way you are. That's not how you're supposed to be. You have a choice. You don't have a choice by telling yourself that's like chopping off your arm. But nobody understands that, because ain't nobody trying to understand, because that's nasty. if you calling yourself an African American, that is a good portion of our lineage. Nobody want to talk about that because there are portions of scripture that has been removed and interjected to where God is attempting to bring things to light in this moment. And you don't get to tell anybody of his people, good, black, white, brown, indifferent, homosexuals. He said, you love everybody. And there's a new narrative coming. Y'all be surprised at what is considered sin and what's not. I'm not going to go into that right now because I'm still in my research of it all. But the scripture there, a lot of people are going to, whereas I'm telling you, there are some things that are being uncovered that was put in the Bible that is not true. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I want to get into your families. But a lot of that has to do with people, that a lot of that has to do with family members who got into church and said, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And if you can't abide by God's rules, you got to get up out of here. I'm sorry. When did God kick you out? Because you ain't always lived and abided. Or if that was the case, honey, we've been looking for you and not Jesus. That was for somebody. That was for somebody. You don't get to kick family members out because your children decided to go a different way than you or love whoever they wanted to love. Whenever there's no sin greater than the other. So when you committed your sins, I didn't see God kick you out. I see you still had access to the king when you was ready to say, God, forgive me. He didn't boot you out and no longer and gave you over to Satan and his ways, and you was tossed and turned and this, that, and the other. Because, honey, you make your bed in hell. He said, I'm still there. So why aren't you not giving the same grace to your children? I'm sorry, I had a little tangent. I guarantee you one tangent each show. Okay.
So you're a minister.
I am.
So,
I can be.
That kind of came out. So,
it did. It came out.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. That's always been my thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show grace and mercy because you're gonna want it for yourself. And what did Miss Sandra say? Let go and let God take hold of the whole situation, honey, holistic situations. We can't do a thing about what people do. It's sometimes out of our reach. This is so true.
Sure.
It's so true. Baby, am I
No,
you okay? Okay.
You are doing wonderful.
It's so true. You cannot, it's out of your reach. But what is in your reach is being able to pray for them and speak to the situation. You got power in this thing, whether you go to church, whether you don't go to church, whether you believe in the universe bringing things back your way, whether you believe in speaking manifestations, whether you in the church or not, honey, you got power in that thing. You speak towards that mountain and you said, be ye removed. You're little God. You can speak towards it, period. God did not micromanage. He did not put us together for micromanaging. He put us together and said, I made you, go out there and be somebody.
It's basically doing what you can. And then after you've done what you can, everything that you can, exhausted every situation, you allow God to do what you can't. And that's when he, shows himself as God as far as bringing that family together.
Yeah, but if you're the black sheep of the family, you got so much purpose. I threw my pen. I like a black sheep.
Yes.
Okay, look. That means you're a leader. If you've been separated, set apart, that means you're leading some things. You're going to have to figure this thing out, figure out the purpose of why, you've been ostracized. and then pull it together, because you have leadership power. You have leadership abilities. You've been set apart for a reason. It just seems like everything and everybody's against you. But honey, let me tell you, there's a reason for that, that tug and pull right there that builds your muscles.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you a matriarch or a patriarch when it's time.
Absolutely.
Because without that struggle, honey, it wouldn't ever pulled out the most beautiful things about you.
Mm-hmm.
Said, Miss Sandra said, prodigal sons and daughters are running here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. We have to pull this family unit together. God is transitioning. He's speaking to these family units. He's removing a lot of things that used to be boundaries. Because I'm telling you, a lot of children, a lot of preachers' kids, PKs, they hated church. They hate church because everybody is so, like, they're so heavenly minded. They know earthly good. And so they're not balanced. And so preachers' kids, that all they see is their parents giving their all to an entity that's supposed to be loving and caring for everybody. It's hard for them to comprehend God's love, because the love that they're meant to get is being snatched away because everybody else needs attention and time. Mm-hmm. And then the enemies back here just snatching your kids up, because you so busy trying to build something that God doesn't need your help to build in the first place. If he gave you the vision, he'll make it happen. Yeah. You got to go with flows.
Yeah. I mean, they, from what I've seen, and I'm a preacher's kid too, so a pastor's kid at that. And I think one of the areas that where pastors fall short is they almost put their calling above the calling. Okay. And which is, they're quick to make the hospital visit. They're quick to visit the sick. They're quick to see the person in jail and everything else that comes with being a pastor or even a minister. But they forget their first calling, which is parenthood.
Parenthood.
You need another pen.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're so loving. You're trying to carry on conversation and you're trying to take care of me. I love you. I agree. I agree with my husband. Can I go somewhere real quick? I want to address the 1240 comment. I'm going back a couple of minutes. I'm going back 17 minutes to where someone said streets treat you better than family.
Agree and disagree.
I agree.
I do. Yeah. I mean,
agree.
But I agree to a certain point.
Come on.
Because streets are going to, I think, let's put it like this. Everybody's individual. Okay. And everybody is going to treat you good. And I've learned this, especially in church. Oh, goodness. Everybody's going to treat you good until they get crossed. Okay.
It's conditional.
It comes with every relationship comes with a condition. Some conditions stretch farther than others. Yes, the streets, especially when you've been hurt by your family, the streets are going to, and they'll seemingly treat you better because you just never had a riff. You never had a run-in. You know that sooner or later, you're going to have to depart from each other. Whatever that reason is. But let that line be crossed. Okay?
Yep.
The streets that you consider your family, and I know this from experience as well, the streets, the people that you consider family outside of your house, that outside of your bloodline, they'll turn on you and treat you a lot of times worse than your family will.
Yeah.
even when it comes back to mending those relationships, those sometimes it's harder for people in the streets to mend relationship just because they've been crossed, and now they don't trust you. And should I trust them again? And I'm not saying that family won't do the same thing, but I think I have reason to believe that family, there will be a different dynamic of resolve with family.
Yeah.
Just because of nothing else, it is family.
Right. Or they've experienced it in such and such in different lineage, in a different portion of the lineage.
Absolutely.
You're like,
Absolutely.
all right, you act like just like your grandpa. Hold on.
Yeah, right.
I can see where this is becoming a pattern or a cycle.
Yes.
Let me help you because this happened to Papa, and I'm telling you where the road goes. You're able to say that, but hear me out when I say, and I like the Facebook user that says yes or no. Yes and no. Correct. But if I'm God, okay, and you are not in the church, right? But you still need family. I reign on the just and the unjust. Not saying if you're not in church that you're not just going here. If I am helping, period, I'm still going to give you a sense of family so that you're not feeling alone. You keep praying to me. You say, God, I know you up there. I know I don't go to church. But I still love you. I love you, just not your people. Okay. He's still going to provide for you. The family gene is whether a person's inside the church or outside of the church. So, and then the enemy knows how to, and then this is the yes part for me. I'm saying, yes, you still have family that you can still have a family feel for somebody in the streets. And here's me where I'm going to the no part, because the enemy knows how to come as a angel of light. The enemy knows how to seem like he is your family, but then you get into the motive of a thing. And you get into the hurtful parts to where somebody in the streets can hurt you. Somebody in the church can hurt you and cut you so deep. Now you got church hurt. Now you don't trust nobody. When I tell you that people will be people, period.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to love from a place of forgiveness, mercy, and grace. Because no matter what you call family, because some people are adopted and they don't have family. They did not get, they were, then they went to the orphanage and nobody adopted them. They don't have natural family. Okay? They've had to create family to have one. Somebody's had to engraft them so that they could have family. So that's another horse of a different color here. That's another conversation. But you still have a knack when you're adopted to find out who you were. Because there's still things about you that you do that nobody has the answers for, that's engraved in your DNA. So family is important. There has been so much that has come about. Okay? There's been so much that has come about that needs conflict resolution because we have made a mess of so many things. Just life, period, has attempted to throw monkey wrenches in everything. Y'all, the point that I am trying to make is that forgiveness is for you, not them. Growth, being in a process, and showing love, grace, and mercy is key. So that we can heal and still have a family unit attached so that we can move on. We have got to be able to come together with the families that are still attached, have conflict resolution so that we can grow. There are things we're all meant to do. Even our families are meant to do as a unit. How many families do you see that have a whole business together?
True.
Like this many percentage?
Yeah.
If we come together as a family unit, like right now, we are in my mother's house. We're in transition, right? We are broadcasting live from a whole different state because we're in transition moving to Houston. Could I have went somewhere and did a month to month until we went to Houston? Yeah. But my mother was like, come on, you need to save some money before you go. Because at the end of the day, if I get into a bind, she no good. I'll be like, Mama. I'm going to call on Jesus. I'm going to call on Jesus.
Definitely going to call on Jesus.
I'm going to call on Jesus.
But mama's going to be a close second.
Right. Because there's some people that cannot call their mama anymore. Their mama gone.
Right. True.
There's some people that can't call their daddies. Their daddies is gone. There's some people that can't call either or. If you still got them here, just say sorry. I don't know, whatever we mad at. I don't even remember what we mad at no more. That's what you need to say. I don't even remember what we mad at no more. Because sometimes you do not remember.
You have to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And there is a much bigger picture than what you went through, no matter how bad it is. And I feel for anybody that has gone through anything in the past. But there is always a broader picture. And once you see that broader picture, that plays a part in the healing process.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what church people, God tells us, he tells church people, or in the Bible, whatever. I just speak out of that. Okay. In the Bible, it tells us to soar above like eagles. Okay. Soar above. Because when you get a bird's eye view on some things, the big stuff seems small once you get up high enough. The trivial things, the nagging, the back and forth, the little foxes destroy the vine. But if you can see your enemy coming from a mile away, you are able to stop that thing from getting there. You're able to shield it. You're able to block it. You're able to say, don't go that way because yada, yada, yada. And if somebody does, you'll be like, I'm right here. I knew that you were going that way. And I knew that the end of that thing was going to come and you was going to hit that brick wall. And I'm right here. Because some people have to hit the brick wall.
True.
Some people have to feel before they hear. I would prefer you hear before you feel. But that's not how some of us are wired. So you got to have extra grace for the people that need to feel before they hear.
So, run.
Run. Ha!
I don't even know if that was.
I'm sorry.
It just took us back to.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. But somebody says run. This is what I want to help you understand. The situation that's happening in Florida right now with the collapsing condo. See it in a holistic point of view, or see it as this is your family. The condo is your family.
Wow.
You got a spectator seeing this moment happening from across the way. They saw the event actually happen where that portion of the condos fell.
Yep.
A few weeks earlier, you had a maintenance man come in and say, I see all these cracks. I see these cracks in your foundation. Something's bad is going to happen, but nobody fixed it. The plumber came in that was doing the pool. I see some stuff foundationally happening. I'm seeing these cracks, y'all. Something bad is going to happen if you don't get these foundational cracks fixed. But nobody wants to do the maintenance. The owners of the building didn't want to do the maintenance. And so How many casualties do we have to keep seeing come through our feed when they're cleaning up the rubble because they didn't want to fix nothing? And now you just keep seeing these people come up deceased as they're finding them in the rubble because nobody wanted to fix it when the fixing could have been done before lives were at stake.
Right.
I'm asking you to see your family unit as that condo because something in the foundation was cracking. The foundation could have been fixed.
Yep. Yeah.
Lives could have been saved.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But because somebody decided to run and not fix it,
Right.
turn the other cheek and not address it.
It's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal. I'm being greedy. I just want the money. Now you got casualties of nobody wanting to take the responsibility. If you see your family in that same light, are you one of the casualties because nobody wanted to take the responsibility? Are your children affected because nobody wanted responsibility? Are there people gone because nobody wanted the responsibility and the family and the foundation cracked? Forgive for yourself. Learn how to love from a safe distance because if they show you who they are, that's who they are.
Yeah.
But you can still love them. Here, you can still love them as they're processing. They may be still stuck on process 1. But if you're not praying for them, if you're not interceding for them, you're just as guilty.
Right. Yeah.
The blood's still on your hands. You got to answer for it one day.
Yeah.
Hard cookie to swallow.
Yeah. But you have to know what fixes the cracks.
Yeah.
Though.
You got to know how to get this done.
Utilize those tools to fix those cracks in that foundation. Otherwise, just like those condos, the building is going to crumble.
Yeah. You got to have stablers. You got to have stablers to fix foundation because the building itself has to be raised while somebody's fixing the foundation.
Yeah.
You got something strong enough. Therapy. They have telehealth. Medicaid is covered by therapy now. Therapy is covered by Medicaid now.
Right.
You know, somebody who is a therapist can come in that's in the family that can help. Somebody who is an intercessor is going to take all of the above. It's going to take the natural and the spiritual to fix this thing, y'all.
Absolutely.
The spiritual minded is going to have to take responsibility for being the spiritual minded. The carnal is going to have to take responsibility of being carnal minded. And somewhere together there is a two, because I'm telling you right now, if that was the case, all we would be is spiritual beings. But we have spirit, mind, and body. We got a soul. You operate because you have those 3 things within you.
Absolutely.
So why would the family unit not have those 3 things be able to be combined and work together? But everybody wants to be right. How's it working for you?
Yeah.
You still having to talk to yourself daily in the mirror. You good. You good. You can do this thing. You got this by yourself. You still having to give yourself the pep talk because you having to believe it. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Or make yourself believe
Make yourself believe it. You're having to create your own reality because you don't want to look at reality.
Exactly.
And the world tells you that that's okay. Okay. Love is the answer. Love is the key.
True.
And love will cover the multitude. It will take you to the healing where the place needs to be healed. It will show you. Get your stones out. Get your Bible out. I don't care whatever it is that you are navigating towards that gives you an understanding or a place of peace or release. I'm not here to judge that. That's not my space. But my space is to tell you to pull it together and get it together because we got somewhere to go, people.
Absolutely.
I don't want to ask the government for freedom. I don't need to.
Right.
I am not an oppressed person.
Mm-hmm.
But where I live, they attempt to oppress me.
Mm-hmm.
We have some places to go. Let's get there. But we're going to have to do it as a unit, because if I run out by myself, guess what? They can pick me off by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But if we run out here as a unit, we can be free as a unit. They can't get us all.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying that. And I'll keep saying that every podcast. All right, good people.
Yep.
It has been real. It has been fun. I will see you again in 2 weeks. Hopefully, Justin will be able to join us again. I don't know if I'm going to let go of family secrets. I will pray about it and see how God wants to address again next session. But I love you guys. Bye.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank you. So did you.
Yeah. So thank you for joining. This has been What Would It Take? Hosted by Summer Logan.
Co-hosted by Joe Logan.
I didn't do mine. But What Would It Take is a group of individuals that strongly believe in the necessity of conversation for the building up of the minority community. To stay in contact of our upcoming events, please visit and like our Facebook page at What Would It Take? My name is Joe Logan, and on behalf of my wife, Summer Logan, this has been real. And until the next time, we wish you peace and love. God bless you.